Hey everybody, welcome to the Deep Dive Show. My name is Mompoloki Makwana. Our goal with this show is to bring you and I in proximity to the people and ideas that will show us that it is possible and it can be done, and eventually help us achieve on our dreams and on our goals. Today, we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. He is the CEO at Prime Coaching. He is an author of 5 books. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming the one and only Mompoloki Makwana. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Sir, thank you so much. And you have something better than I could. Sometimes I do forget to mention that I've written books. I do forget to mention a lot of stuff.
5 books. But I don't know how you forget 5 books.
Yeah, it's I've written so many books, honestly. I think we have 4 more books which have been written, not released yet. I think late this year, your subscribers are fortunate to hear this. We have a book coming, A Year of Growth, which is focusing on growth, development, and how we can focus more on development than just competing for what is already available. So thank you so much for hosting me.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I like that you got straight to the chase. Yes. I love that you got straight to the chase, man.
Yeah.
But let's start with your story first.
Yeah.
Where did this begin for you? From childhood, who were you growing up, and how did it lead to who you are today?
I'm so excited to share about my village. And normally people ask me every time on radio, there's a segment that I do every Tuesday with RB2. I say Mompoloki Makwana from Malaladau. I'm so used to that locally. When I go out, Makwana from Botswana. It's easy to remember. But Malaladau has a place that has...
And it rhymes too, eh?
It rhymes too. It's a place that has birthed the greatness in me. My first book is called The Birth of Greatness. It shares a story about a young man, Mompoloki Makwana, a young boy who was growing up in Malaladau and going to Malaladau Primary School. And when other people were starting, I was finishing. I didn't want to go to school anymore.
How old were you when you wrote the book?
When I wrote my first book, I think I was at the varsity. When I wrote the Birth of Greatness. It was just introducing Mompoloki Makwana, who Mompoloki Makwana is, my story. So I grew up with my grandmother. My mother was working in Pigwe, and me realizing the village life, I really wanted to be in Zana. I wanted to be in Pigwe. And so I stopped going to school to be with my mother in Pigwe. And then for most part of my time, people who were in the same group with me, so I only had to catch up later. Now this is a different story where now I was nearly going to prison because and all these things were getting out of hand. And when that changed, I think it really is God's grace. That when it changed now, one time when I was still selling oranges that I was selling for my mom, I was working in...
You're not going to school at this time.
And not going to school. So now it was coming to a point where I was meeting people from school, but now they are meeting me on my side, I'm just selling, right? So I decided that I want to go back to school, which is Malaladau, and my life changed from there. I really valued school much more than before, realizing how much it can change for me. And I still remember a story where my former teacher, Mango Getsang, asked me to go and read a Bible verse in front of the assembly. And that was a game changer for me. Standard 4. Because now I was realizing how much value that I can add, not just a mere A student, but also being able to impact other students. It went on as a journey for me into Malaladau Junior School, where I was learning from the police and teaching them the penal code. Every Thursday, I would teach them what the law is talking about. At high school, there is a book that introduced me to Radio Botswana that I always listen to, Message Hilo. And always when I was listening, I would say, I want to be on radio. I want to teach people on these matters. I want to motivate people. I read a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen R. Covey. And after reading that book, I decided that I'm going to teach it to people in our class. In our class, fortunately, we had the head boy. Head boy chose that on June 16, I will teach it to the school. Now, the influence went from that to that to that. And then I remember the first ever time when they was inspired by a book by Raone Dindwe. By then it was Raone Dindwe, Raone Tlasana, who was working in RB2. And there was a segment where you have to write and say, you are inspired by this book, you have to share it. That book brought me to the radio station.
So after writing that, that's when you got, they called you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, man. So you are a global speaker.
Yes, sir.
You do keynotes. You do so much, man.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, like on an average month,
Yeah.
how many streams of income are you getting? Just from all that you do, because you are also, you're a CEO at Prime Coaching,
Yeah.
a global speaker, you're an author.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that.
Yeah, and I also run
on radio.
I also run a new enterprise called Employee Africa,
Yeah.
which is an HR magazine that focuses on targeting HR issues. We also have a business, Prime Car Rental, which is just for car rental, and Prime Publishers. It's a publishing business.
I'm
by the
counting
way.
7 already.
Yes, so I know there are 10. Even in my room, I have 10 income streams. I've drawn the chart there. I know there are 10.
Oof.
So that's where it comes from. But here's the thing: it's just different heads, but same message: empowerment, motivation, encouragement, and developing people. Just that it has been developed into different facets. Just that, so it's just me realizing how much personal development can change people's lives. And then I incorporated personal development in every avenue that I work with. And most of the time, I realized that, the followers that follow me, the people that I work with, they are at the mercy of my ability to develop myself, to learn more, to expose myself, so that I'm not limiting them and their growth and how the world runs. So most part of my month, even though I'm busy speaking there, most of the time during the week, I'm home learning, developing new programs, just talking with my team, how we can develop things better, and then. So just that with the media, we always share the work we do, but mostly we are developing, we are researching and stuff like that.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to pause here for a break and we'll be back with Mompoloki Makwana.
You're watching this video. I'm guessing there's some amount of value that you're getting from this video. I'm here to tell you that we have more. We've created a Patreon account. This is a monthly subscription-based model where you'll be investing as little as $5 a month to be able to support our work. And in turn, you will have access to behind the scenes, exclusive content, live shows, and even information on future events. Your investment into us allows us to be able to create more and better content, to be able to push these stories off. It is possible and it can be done. So if that sounds interesting to you, head over to patreon.com/deep dive sessions and become a patron. See you on the inside.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive Show. We're here with Mompoloki Makwana. So, sir, we talked about just before the break. You said you had 10 income streams and you have them on your wall. I just want to touch on that before now we dive into what you do a lot, which is leadership. Did you always make them to be like this, or some of them just developed by themselves?
Yeah, that's a very good question. When we add value, you are not mindful of how much it will come out of that. This is where it started. Say, I came from Finland in 2015. There I saw young people doing crazy, amazing things. Running farms, having best businesses. They meet on coffee sessions hosted by one friend of mine from there. He was coming from Italy. He stays he runs a restaurant around Polja River. I wrote about that like that in my book, The Birth of Greatness. Then I realized that people, they can do so much more when they are exposed. I came back and I said, okay, you know what? I want to use the radio platform to share information on developing people. It was called Empowering. It started Empowering Your Vision. I started this radio segment that I'm doing today. In 2016, when I was in university. When I shared every Tuesday like I did this morning, people will call me like they did even this afternoon. Say, where are your offices? Where can you help us? We would like to work with you. We would like to come and do our stuff. I don't have offices. I'm still a student, right? And then I realized, okay, finishing school, then I can run this thing and also run an enterprise. So I registered Prime Coaching in 2017, where now if people invite me to come and do motivation, I go do motivation and I do what? They pay me, it goes to the business account. And then one day when I was teaching people at the Ministry of Transport, one gentleman approaches me in Tlokwe, and they were hosting it in Tlokwe. I still remember it vividly. He said, sir, I loved what you teach. I know these people, they paid you, but do you have a book? Then I said, you know what? Maybe I should write a book so that when I teach these people, I also have a book.
You give them something tangible.
Then I wrote my first book, The Birth of Greatness. That's where it started. Writing The Birth of Greatness, this is what happened. To publish it, I had to spend 2 years of struggle to find the right publishers. That is why I went back to register Success Press International, a publishing business, which is now known as Prime Publishers. You see, all these things, it was not like, oh, I want to run a business, I do this.
Yeah.
No. Every business was me realizing I'm struggling and other people are struggling too. My friends are publishing books too. So why don't run a business? And even if 10 customers or 20 customers is fine, but it's a business that can help people to deliver and unleash their potential. So that is how one business led to the other. Yes.
Beautiful. You speak with so much belief and you know, I'm lacking the word here.
Yeah.
You know, you have so much self-belief in what you do, and anyone that listens to you can tell the authenticity of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where did you develop this? Where now you look at yourself the way you look at yourself, because the way you look at yourself is also how you're appearing to the world. How did you develop this strong sense of self?
And
that is showing up.
Yeah.
You may not know it, but I can see it off of you right now. How do you develop this strong sense of self and mission?
You are very right. My mentor, B.F. Rams, my spiritual father as well, pointed that to me 2 years ago. And I think it was coming from an element, honestly, is the grace of God first. Secondly, when I did my assessment, one of the things that I found that is the top chart of is self-assurance. But I didn't know that then. My mother told me one thing: you go to people's place and they will try to give you food and they push it, don't eat it. Because you can always come back home and you can always find something. Knowing that I have a support system that even when I go out to the world and do the things that I do, even if they say no, I already have people who have said yes. So even when I build any project and I take it on a project out there and I believe it can work, I'm getting from a standpoint of people that I know that have mentored me, nurtured me and stuff like that. But beyond that, man, if you don't own anything and if you don't believe in your stuff, no one will. Some people see your potential and they just hope you don't know your potential. Some people see your value, they just hope you don't know your value. They just hope you'll come begging instead of standing foot forward and say, I know this product, I built this product and this is how much it costs. And I know how much I can go because I've seen how much I've gone before.
And
apologetically owning your story, apologetically owning your dream. Because some people, they tiptoe, even to the point that, there are some certain people, that you look up to who need your help and you think you're needing their help. And just because you are not there yet, you are not known so much yet, you are not making this much money, you think you need them to be what God has designed you to be. And so me owning the idea that my becoming cannot be limited by me playing small and begging and being apologetic for the things that I know I was set to do. And once you own that confidence, people match with that tone. The statement, you teach people how to treat you, it comes from there. Sometimes without saying anything, people can decide which cup of coffee to give you.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you are not owning your value, if you are not putting your value forward, you may end up playing small. You may end up begging from people who need you. Yeah.
That was powerful, man.
Thank you, sir.
That was powerful. Talk to me about leadership.
Yes, sir.
What is leadership to you? And why is it that important?
When I think of leadership, honestly, I think about my mom and how my mom is so passionate, man. I've never met, it's only now that I'm starting to realize how powerful she is, because first she believes that regardless of everything, she taught me something like, take the cars away, take the buildings away, and tell me the person you want to go to as your parents. And I said, no, it will be you. Because I realized that without having the things that she wanted to have, she is living the inner piece of what she always wanted to have. She knows how to lead herself. She knows how to influence other people. She knows how to build people around her. And for me, that is leadership. And the ability to see yourself and say, I can be hungry, but the little that I have, I can share with you. I think that is leadership. Being inclusive does not start with, we want gender equality, we want diversity. It's about valuing other people as much as you value yourself. And that is leadership. And the more you do it, the more you realize how much power we can generate when 10 people influence each other, 15 people connect together, then it starts spreading. Then the term got out of hand that they had to have a term for it called leadership. It's about influencing each other and building authentic stories, sharing stories, and being able to grow together. Yeah.
Well put. Well put. We're going to pause here for a break and we'll be back with Mompoloki Makwana. Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Mompoloki Makwana. And if you found some value in this video so far, be sure to like, comment down below on your biggest takeaway thus far, and subscribe to the channel. So, Mr. Makwana, talk to me about Prime Coaching and the work that you're doing there.
Prime Coaching is one of the leading HR development organization. We are looking at empowering employees and transforming workplaces. Our mission is to create vibrant workplaces through empowering employees, enabling communication, building teams, and also working on structure for human development within organization. We believe one thing, man. We believe that organizational growth comes from individual growth. When people within an organization are not growing, the organization will not grow. When you hear that a company is closed, they don't mean these buildings. They mean closing of thinking and applying themselves. So we are at the forefront to understand what are the key motivators, what are the key resources we can use to empower employees so that they are able to own the vision of the organization and do the work, not because they are paid, but because they want to grow. When we focus on growth and not goals, from my book, Area of Growth, we realize that there's so much more we can get. We empower people so that beyond just doing your 9-to-5 job, you can do something. Because we own everything to the bottom line of personal development. So we teach organizational personal development. From there, we can teach on service excellence, team building, high performance culture. We do all those stuff. But Ronago Prime Coaching, one thing that if you have to remember anyway is personal development. We develop individuals. One of the work we also do is we do visual coaching sessions. We have one-on-one coaching sessions, group coaching sessions, where we help people to build their careers, not only just their jobs, but also enterprises and businesses. We also do understand that we cannot all be entrepreneurs if we decide to or not to, but we cultivate you in the space where you feel like you can be helped. One of the turnaround that we have introduced in 2019 was the introduction of assessment, where when we are working with companies, individuals, we do assessment. And this psychometric assessment helps us to know people better and to help them to know themselves much better. So that even Habana, bitter, arrogant, or whatever, they know where it emanates from. So we help them to discover that and then now pushing them to leverage on their strength, on their vision, so that they are productive and they can create a high performance culture.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. So as I'm listening to you, you know, I'm getting also Jim Rohn vibes.
Yes.
I'm getting Jim Rohn vibes from you. Most definitely, you know him. John C. Maxwell, we talked about him. Talk to me about now how you help someone escape their limiting beliefs. Because a lot of people are stuck at, you know, certain places in life, or they plateau. You know, usually, you know, people, even psychologically, they talk about the mind, subconscious mind, the conscious mind, how to penetrate that and how to help someone, because even success itself comes from the mind. How do you? What are some of those tangible things that someone listening to us today can go home with and say, if I do 1, 2, 3, I can escape my own limiting beliefs and I can see myself in my mind's eye instead of just in my mind, instead of just limiting myself here. Right.
And one of the things that causes that is 1, lack of exposure, 2, lack of mentorship and coaching, 3, lack of support from close friends and close relatives. Above all, the fourth and the most important one is the lack of spirituality in our lives. We just operate on silos. We think, I did this because I did this. We don't acknowledge the Holy Spirit in our lives. We don't acknowledge God in our lives. We don't acknowledge that. And for me, my work has been good. The day I started introducing spirituality in the work that I do, I even stopped charging the prices that I was charging. The day I started acknowledging the power that God has given me, the wisdom that God has given me, the talents that God has given me, and acknowledging them that these are for a reason. And I'm the right person at the right season. I'm the right man. That's why I'm called the UnmatchedCoach. I am the UnmatchedCoach for a reason. And once I started acknowledging the higher power operating from that and starting to work on the Word of God, reading the Word of God, and understanding that I have this power, that the same power that rose Jesus Christ from the dead is the same power that lives within me, man, that is so much power. So now I operate from that. And once that started happening, it started changing my wiring inside, my mindset. So we tap into the mindset. we want to hear all the blames. Even when I do a coaching session right now, an example would be write down all the things that are hindering you. People will write them down. And then I say, tear the paper and throw it away. Can you tell me the things that are empowering you right now to become the person you want to become? People are mostly conscious of the things they don't want, my friend.
Most def.
I don't want a short person. I don't want a salary of 2.5.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we don't say the things we want. And therefore, our mind gets gravitated towards the unwants.
Our focus.
Gravitate towards what's not working. Gravitate towards why it's not possible. Gravitate towards why there is so much reasons this marriage cannot work. We never give ourselves a chance to go through the mental overhaul of, in the midst of all this blaming, what can work? Who can talk to me? With everyone not talk to me, who can talk to me? With no one providing funding, who is the one person that I'm sure can provide funding? And so we help people to make those mental shifts. The mindset coaching we do helps people to go beyond just their community, because the product we have now is not bought in Manalata, but let's go to Pique. You see a total whole change. So we focus on the mindset change. Mindset change helps to do the mental overhaul that exposes people to new information. There's the famous words from the gentleman, I forgot, but I quote the words. He said, once the mind is exposed to new ideas, it never goes back to its original size. It's keep expanding. Most people have not been expanded, and now they think that's their reality. They have not been exposed. They have not been loved enough. They have not been showed care, and they think it's not a reality. They think people are faking and pretending. You see, so the mindset shift coaching, it helps exposes people to those elements of breaking free from just the box you think you are living in.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So personal development, because I think, it's a constant journey of learning and becoming better and better.
True.
Because I think also you can be a billionaire but still be mediocre if you don't hold yourself to those high standards.
Very true.
Now talk to me about, because you're into high productivity too.
Yeah.
What do you do when you wake up in the morning? What are some of the tools that we can use that can help us, in productivity?
I want to be honest. I've gotten much lazier, but I'm working on it. One of the things that I was consistent about was the 5 a.m. club, where I wake up and do some joggings. And then that is something that I'm working on now to build momentum. It's not yet there that I know. So it was that morning, high intensity activity. And then one must do reading, maybe a chapter or a book that you are working on. And then the last one, the third one, which I was teaching people mostly during the lockdown, gratitude. Yes. Affirmations. There are some affirmations that I will teach going with people through that. The 28 day of mastery, gratitude. And one thing that I do consistently that I have not stopped is the Word of God. Reading the Word of God, exposing myself to the unlimited wisdom. We have expertise there. We have mentors there. We have coaches there. But the mega coach for me is God.
Yes.
So learning from that really put me in a standpoint of knowing that people are people. And as much as we trust them, they have their own faults. And so when I operate with people, I operate from a place, my friend will say, operating from a place of grace, extending grace. And it comes from the knowledge of God and the wisdom of God. So reading the Word of God, exercising, reading some information, industry information, and sharing something. I can't wake up and just go until 11 without sharing something on my wall. Adding something, that's value addition. Just a post, just a message is enough to uplift someone's day. So always training yourself to be a person of value. There's a 30 minutes video on my YouTube channel on how to become a person of value. So every day, add value. Ask yourself this question. How can I make just one person's life a different? How can I make a difference in one person's life today? Just by saying, you look great, sir. Just by saying, you are doing an incredible job. Just picking a phone. Mr. Non, last time he picked a phone and he called me and said, Mr. Makwana, I see you have a website. That's a massive work. It meant something to me.
Yeah.
So those are the small things that you can do from that. Now, after you are grateful, you can offer something to some people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, I want to talk about this. What do you say to people that say motivation is just hype?
Yep.
It just gets you excited, but it doesn't teach you anything. Or it doesn't give you like the tools to go in and work on what you need to do.
I think the answer, I got it from the father of personal development, the personal motivation himself, Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
He said, people say motivation don't last, so is birthing. You don't birth once and say the year is done.
Yeah.
So it's that. You know what I term it? They are right. They are right. There is the law of diminishing intent. When you are motivated to do something and you don't do it, the intention dies over time. Most people get motivated and do nothing. Jim Rohn said you can motivate a fool and he will do more foolish things. You motivate a banker, he will do more banking.
Yeah.
So it's about, you have that energy, where do you put it? You have that energy, where do you put it? For me, it was DJ's Boo who was doing the Leadership 2020 that forced me to do Empowered Makwana Leadership Series for the past 5 years. For me, it was DJ's Boo who said you should leave your job and build on your thing. Motivation from a book. I left my 9-to-5 job after 2 years establishing Prime Coaching. Today, I wouldn't be starting Makwana Leadership Academy. Today, I wouldn't be owning a car rental business. So it's motivation that gets used that works. Motivation that does not have your intention in your work and your integrity to yourself and say, I learned something, I'm going to apply, will never always work. I've been taught something very impactful, man, at junior school. I'll never forget it. A body at rest remains where? At rest.
At rest.
Until you push it. A body in motion remains in what? In motion. Until you change direction. People who are not motivated will remain not motivated. People who are motivated and making changes, they will be motivated and make changes. So it's about, what do you do after you learn? That is why I say, you will never hear me encouraging people. Read five books a month. For me, if you read one chapter and go and apply, you are better off than 5 books, no action. I talk about it in my book, What Amazing Employees Do. I said they are not all talk, no action. They are not all behavior, no progress. They bring intensity to whatever they do. So motivation will always be there, and it will work for those who make use of. It will get better for those who make things better. One gentleman, I think it's Jim Rohn or George Bernard Shaw, he said, things turn out the best for those who make the best out of the way things turn out. So you must decide that whatever you learned, you are going to apply. Otherwise, it will not work for you.
Otherwise, it won't work. Beautiful. We're going to get into a quick section here. It's called Rapid Fire. I'm going to ask you just a bunch of random questions.
Yes.
I have them actually here.
Yeah.
What would you change about yourself?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Question 2.
Oh, man, I'm super great.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory, I think, is about my late sister. You know, the way she instilled discipline in my younger siblings. I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
She knew how to handle them. She was really great on understanding and tapping into their fears and make them to do the things they want to do. So that's the memory that I really remember all the time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, then the other one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you with keeping secrets?
Man, I think 1. I'm being honest. I think 1. I love talking.
Yeah.
And I love referencing. I'm not someone who plagiarized.
Yeah.
If someone said something, I will say, I forgot, but this person. So even when I'm having a conversation, you'll find that I've shared your secret on television.
Yeah.
So be mindful. Don't share secrets with me. Don't.
All right. So 1 for real?
Yeah, 1.
Okay. Are you happy where you are right now in life?
I'm very happy. It's even more than what I expected. I thought it was going to take longer, but the things that I thought they would take more time, they took a shorter time, and it scared me, realizing that with the little effort we make, there's so much change. Here's a quote I want to add. I don't know if I'm supposed to be explaining these things. There's a quote that I used to teach people a lot in 2019. When you are sitting in your room and writing your dreams down, you can only see a tiny bit of what your life can become. But when you go out and start implementing, you get more than what you thought will become.
Most definitely.
Now I'll sum it with someone's words. He said, people who settle for less than what they deserve, they even get less than what they settled for. It's very, very important to acknowledge that our life are not the result of luck. Man, I wake up every morning and I don't think of the government, the thing influencing my life. I think of what decisions am I making. And when you start owning it from that, any time of the day you are happy. Because if you're not happy, you can change the happiness. So for me, I'm really, really good with and happy where I am right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, you said you're not good at keeping secrets. The last question on rapid fire is tell me one of your secrets.
One of the secrets?
Yeah.
Man, there's so many. I'm trying to pick the best one.
Yeah. Do you sleepwalk?
No. I know that one. I don't.
All right.
I think for me, it's
it's a deep one.
It's snoring, man. And I don't know how people deal with snoring. It's snoring and it really pisses me off. So that is something that it's my secret. But I realize that the more I travel, the more it gets revealed. So it's snoring.
Yeah, so they should know. Keep you in your own room.
So keep me very far away from your house. If you have a guest house inside. Yeah. So
all right. Beautiful. So beautiful. My last question is, how do you want to be remembered as Mompoloki Makwana?
Yeah, that's a very good question, man. I think I think it's 3 key words: empowering lives. 2 ways, empowering lives. That's what I want to be remembered for. And I know I will be remembered for that, because there are people that I've helped and encouraged so many years ago that today still come back to me and say, you remember, because of this session we had, because of this conversation we had, this is how my life is turning out, this is how my family is turning out. I have a program called Ignite Your Family, by the way, where we go to families, and maybe on Sundays after I go to church, I sit down with them and I help them to set family visions. You know, most people don't know that we have to have a family vision, including fathers who are well educated. They don't have that. So now seeing people being excited and children blaming their parents for something, say, you don't do this, you don't communicate to us, you just wake up and buy a farm, you didn't communicate to us. And the father say, okay, I didn't think you were interested. They say, we never showed the interest in us to share about these things. Those are the things that I really, really enjoy doing, because I believe there's power in every human being, regardless of their race, their color, their economic status. So seeing someone said, my life got better because of something you said, something you wrote, something you talked about, something you presented on, makes the difference.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mompoloki Makwana. I believe you've just heard what he's all about, what he does, who he is, and where he is going. This man has a story, and it's powerful, it's compelling, and it is excellent. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to give yourself the biggest favor to dive into his world. It is amazing. You'll be mind blown, to say the least. And if you found any value in this episode, like the episode if you like the episode. And subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'll meet same time, same place next week on the very next episode. Be great.